Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, and his Enterprise crew encounter their fair share of godlike beings in Star Trek, the original series, but none has a more tragic story than this one. Throughout Star Trek's 3 seasons, stories involving powerful alien beings became a regularly used trope. These beings are often arrogant and believe they are far superior to humans. Sometimes, they teach Kirk and his crew a valuable lesson and leave peacefully, but other times, it takes equally powerful beings to thwart them. Either way, these godlike aliens, who often can shape reality itself, rarely garner sympathy. The alien in the original series Season 2, Episode 2, Who Mourns for Adonai, however, is a different kind of god. When a huge green hand appears in space and traps the Enterprise, Kirk and a landing party must beam down to the planet below, where they encounter a powerful being claiming to be the TOS version of the Greek god, Apollo, Michael Forrest. Apollo promises to provide for Kirk and his crew as long as they worship him, but Kirk immediately refuses. Despite his considerable abilities, Apollo needs humans to sustain him, and his story makes him more sympathetic than other godlike aliens. Why I felt sorry for Apollo in Star Trek, the original series. Apollo was a tragic and lonely figure who ultimately faded away. Captain Kirk speculates that this being may actually be Apollo, pointing out that ancient Greeks would have assumed a powerful alien to be a god. The worship of the ancient Greeks and Romans sustained Apollo and his fellow gods, but when humankind moved on, the powerful aliens were forced to return to their home planet of Pollux 4. On a now empty world, these aliens gave up hope one by one, fading from existence, or as Apollo puts it, they returned to the cosmos on the wings of the wind. As the last of his kind, Apollo finds himself alone on an empty planet, waiting for humans to return. But when the Enterprise arrives, the crew wants nothing to do with Apollo and has no interest in worshipping him. Although Apollo clearly sees himself as superior to humans, he also appears lonely and seems sincere in his desire to care for Kirk and his crew. He doesn't understand that these humans are not like the ones from ancient Greece who used to worship him. Apollo even claims to be in love with archaeology and anthropology officer Lieutenant Carolyn Palamas, Leslie Parrish, who falls for him far too quickly. Whether or not Apollo understands love is up for debate, but he appears genuinely distraught when Palamas and the rest of the humans reject him. In the end, Apollo fades away to join his fellow gods and goddesses, lamenting that humans no longer have any room for gods. Star Trek: Lower Decks revealed Apollo has a relative in Starfleet. Ensign Ollie is the granddaughter of Zeus. In its 5th and final season on Paramount+, Star Trek: Lower Decks introduces a demigod descended from Zeus himself. In Lower Decks Season 5, Episode 6, of Gods and Angles, Ensign Ollie, Saba Homayun, is transferred to the USS Cerritos after she has been dismissed from numerous other ships. Ollie wants to become an engineer, but the psychokinetic power she inherited from her grandfather, Zeus, makes her job difficult. After another series of mishaps, Captain Carol Freeman, Dawn Lewis, wants to dismiss Ollie from Starfleet, but Lieutenant Beckett Mariner, Tawny Newsome, convinces her mother to let her mentor the young ensign. With some encouragement from Mariner, Ollie eventually uses her energy-absorbing ability to help end the fighting that breaks out between the visiting orbs and cubes. Freeman agrees to let Ollie remain on the Cerritos as part of the engineering crew, and the young demigod later helps the Cerritos in its mission to save the multiverse in the Star Trek: Lower Decks series finale. Ollie may not be much like Star Trek, the original series Apollo, but she proves that the legacy of the Greek gods lives on, even after the gods themselves have long since vanished.